Thank you. Thank you
So
so
we're
much.
joined all the way from New York City by my friends Angie Ogando and Minue Yoshida. I hope I said it right. Of the Yoshida Academy. We thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedules to join us. This is our business law class here at Velma Jackson High School. We're recording this for all of our friends in Madison County Schools. Madison Central, Rosa Scott, my good friend April Majors over at Ridgeland High School, Germantown High School, the Academic Option Center, and our YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much for taking some time for us. This is just such an important topic to me. And it's so funny that we're going to talk about this. And as soon as we get done, they're doing their presentations that they have prepared. So this will be a great segue to get them ready for that. So thank you guys so much for joining us all the way from the beautiful city of New York today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The pleasure is ours. And nice to meet you. Nice to see all of you there. I think that this is going to be a phenomenal session. I know it's going to be a phenomenal session. And I'm going to share my screen. I just wanted to know, Angie, please, if you let me know if that you're seeing
Yeah, we
with
got it.
what
We
you
got it.
see.
Awesome.
All right, fantastic. So today's session is about owning your story. And the way that we're going to do this is we're going to share some slides on the screen, and please take notes. And we really hope that all of you, if you have questions, you can ask Professor Greg or Coach by God. Is that how they call you? So just people can ask you, and then please let us know if people have questions, and just bring them to us. So we
Awesome.
expect all of you to be on the here and the now. People think that the mind wanders. Well, some people study this and say the mind wanders every 7 minutes. I disagree. I think it wanders every minute and a half. So by now we already lost some of you. If we lost you, come back. I can't see if we lost you, but you know if you went to somewhere there. So please come back, because coming back is something that only you can do, and it's your responsibility. Active listening. Please listen with the intent of being influenced by the other. That is what active listening is about. And a different world would be if we are listening that way. Getting uncomfortable means, wait, what? You're going to ask me something? You're going to do that? Oh, I don't want. It's uncomfortable. The only way to grow is through an uncomfortable moment, and then make it yours, because we're very good, but we're not that good to know how do you apply this in your life. Please extrapolate what we say and apply it in your life and say, okay, from everything that we're going to go together, take one and apply it in your life.
There you go.
And that one tiny thing is going to make a ripple effect that will change your life forever. And that's what we want to do today. So we're going to show you some images of people that we think they're famous in history, and we want to know if you know the names of these people. So, Coach by God, we're going to need your help in if they
Okay.
know it, just say they know it, and they say is this thing, so we can't
Okay.
hear them. All right. So
All
the
right.
first person, who is this person?
We got one person got it. Who else knows it?
You can yell it.
Yeah, they everybody got it. Martin Luther King Jr.
Well done. All right. Next one.
Oh, that's Helen
Sorry,
Keller.
speculated, but no.
Oh, I don't know.
Do you wanna? Do
Susan
you
B.
wanna?
Anthony.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I
Well
don't.
done.
A lot of them haven't had U.S. history yet, so I got to be fair on that one. They haven't had U.S. history yet and know about her importance to the women's suffrage movement.
Absolutely. It wasn't herself, it was a group of women, and so we just chose one person that represents her. But thanks to her and the other group of women, we can all vote. So that's fantastic. Who is this guy?
Oh, who knows that one? Close. Yeah, somebody got it. Say it
Yeah,
again. Stephen
yeah,
Hawking.
Stephen
That is
Hawking,
correct.
absolutely. And we owe to Stephen Hawking, many, many discoveries. One of them, yeah, the fact that we have holes, black holes in the world, and he's one of the most incredible professors. Well, he's a professor in Cambridge, but he's a cosmologist and the director of research. So we owe him a lot. All right,
And living with AL or lived with ALS. So just amazing about
exactly,
that as well.
exactly. Yeah, and that's another historical fact here to consider, is that a physical impediment shouldn't be an impediment. and
Yeah.
he defied every single law. Actually, there's a movie on him that I suggest that you'll watch. It's really, really amazing. And they also have a movie of this guy. Do we know who he is?
I know this one. I'll see if they know. That one's tough. That's Harvey Milk. That was
Exactly.
the movie with Sean Penn. Was about him.
Exactly, exactly. There's also a movie with him. And so he was elected in public office in California and the first openly gay politician. And so he went through a lot of pushback and a lot of aggression. And but he proved everyone that it was possible. Who is she?
Ooh, I know this one. I'll see if they know it. Wait, I think we got one. What'd you say? Currently on the United States Supreme Court, first Latina to ever be appointed.
Yes, Sonia Sotomayor, the first
Sonia
Latina
Sotomayor. Yep.
to ever be appointed, of course. And it's interesting. So Sonia Sotomayor is coming from the Bronx. She grew up in a very poor household, and she actually had dyslexia. She also had diabetes. So she had a lot of things in her life that actually, other people could say it was against her, but she took all these different adversities and make them her strength. And one of my favorite things when I read, she has a wonderful book. I really suggest that you read the book.
Okay.
And then when she went to Princeton, thanks to a scholarship, so she didn't have money, but she studied a lot, and she
Yeah.
read.
And
She found.
Spanish was her first language. And we have a lot of English language learners in our district that have Spanish as their first language. So she is a great example for them as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so people, criticize her for her accent and for this and for that. And so when she was in Princeton, she was coming in, a person said, "What are you doing here?" And she said, "Well, I study here." And this person said, "People like you don't belong here."
Mm,
And then
wow.
she said, "Watch me." And now she's in the Supreme Court. So yes, who is she?
Hmm. I don't know that one. Does anybody know?
All right. So once upon a time,
We got it.
yeah.
She's we had a guest from Mother Teresa.
No, Mother
Is
Teresa
that a young Benazir
was
Bhutto?
a little bit older. Yes, like, oh, Andy, he knew about Benazir Bhutto. Oof, because we wanted to put Benazir in, and it was like, would they know? Her
Yeah,
name is
Benazir Bhutto was the president of Pakistan, but yeah.
exactly, and the
Okay.
first Muslim president in Pakistan, Benazir Bhutto. Thank you so much. Points for Coach by God. Um, so her name is Malala Yousafzai, and so once upon a time, no long time ago, because she's super young. She was born in 97. Um, she's from Pakistan. And she was going to school, and it was forbidden for girls to go to school. And when the Taliban was invading, they said you cannot go to school. Women should not study. And
Mm,
so she was defying it and defying and defying it. And then one day she was on the bus, and a person came in the bus, and he was armed. And he said, "I'm looking for Malala," and she said, "I am Malala." And he used his gun to do something bad that I can't say. And then she went to the hospital, and in the hospital with a wound in her head, about to die. Somebody asked her, "Are you afraid?" And she said, "Absolutely terrified." She said, "So why do you do what you do?" She said, "Because I am following my calling, and I will not stop until I know and I see one girl with one notebook, one pencil going to school."
awesome.
And she actually got a Nobel Peace Prize, and she's an
Wow.
activist. Please, if you have not seen about her, like follow her life. It's really impressive. Okay, and two more to go. Two more to go. Who is this guy?
Anybody know this one? What? We got it. Somebody got it. Say it again. That is Mahatma Gandhi. Very good. The
Yes, Mahatma
Yeah,
Gandhi.
leader of
And
Indian freedom.
absolutely. And the first person to prove to the world that there is no need to use violence to achieve a goal is the first person to use his life as an example to guide a lot of people, millions of people, into a movement that freed India finally. But he's a great example of peace. Okay, the last one.
Everybody got that one. Everybody knows the NBA players. Yeah.
Four-time NBA player from high school, a high school phenomenon. And the importance of him as well is that he's not just a high school phenomenon, but he's actually a philanthropic and business leader. And he has done a lot of good in his community, and he has a foundation called LeBron James Family Foundation and something called I Promise School. And so he is an example to the world because he also didn't come from privilege or money or something like that, but through hard work and dedication he went through his career. But that's not the important thing, is not to get there, is what do you do with that? What do
There
you
you
do
go.
as soon as you go and have one step in your life, whatever step that is, because you don't need to be a LeBron or Sonia Sotomayor. It's just as soon as you go one step, what do you do? And what you do is you hold somebody else's hand to bring somebody else with you. So you create a chain, right? Because we have seen a lot of people that made it all the way to the top, but then they turn around and who is behind me? Nobody's behind you. So what is the point of getting there if you aren't able to bring others with you? Nobody succeed on their own. It's a myth and it's a lie to say that I'm a self-made person. I made it on my own. Nobody. We all have a community, someone that gave you a chance, someone that believed in you. And so, what is our responsibility? To pass it on, to grab somebody's hand and pass it on. And you might say, "I'm super young. I'm just in high school." Pass it on to someone else that you know that is the next generation. But also, one of my best mentors are 17 and 16 years old. And so you can mentor an adult. Please own that and know that you have the power to teach whatever it is that you know, whatever it is you experience, whatever it is that is in your heart. You have that power, and don't let anyone else tell you anything different. So I have a question for all of you. Let's see, Coach Pygott, if they can tell me, what do all these people had in common? What do they think they had in common?
We got an answer of one person says they all have goals.
Okay, what else?
Anybody? We have one say they all push through challenges.
Absolutely. And so I have a next question. What do they have in common with all of you?
They
Because
all fail. Got an answer said they all faced adversity.
yes, they all face diversity. And I'm going to give you other similarities because I want you to know there is no difference between these amazing, incredible people and each one of you. There is no difference because all of you have a day of 24 hours. None of them said, "Oh, I have more years. Oh, my days are 48. I wish I have 48." No, all of them were agents of change. And I want all of you to know that every time you feel or you are aware that something is not okay, it's because you're awake and it's because you're conscious. And if you're awake and conscious, that makes you an agent of change. Because in the middle of all this world, there are zombies walking somewhere, that they're completely oblivious that something needs to change, that
There
something
you go.
can improve, that something fantastic could happen. But if you think and feel it, that makes you conscious. And if you're conscious, you're an agent of change. And the last thing is that they own it. They own it because Malala could have said, let someone else fight this fight. Why not? Maybe Sonia Sotomayor could have said, you're right, I don't belong here. Maybe LeBron could have said, I made it. If someone else wants it, they have to fight for it. They could all make this type of decisions, but instead they own it. And this is why we decided to name this session Writing Your Story.
Yeah, and something you said there, and you can use this because I didn't write it, but in the movie The Equalizer 2, there's a quote, and it's Denzel Washington, and there's a quote. An old man says, "Today I set a new personal record, the most consecutive days alive." And every single person, when they wake up, sets that new record for themselves. So you have a new day that you've set a record with. So what are you going to do with it? And I know that's just a movie, but that line has stuck with me for years because it is so deep and it was a lot based on what you just said because everybody has the same amount of time, and every single person when they wake up has a new day to do something with.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what happens sometimes is that people tell us something that is their story, their reality, but it's not mine. And I make it mine, I don't know, accidentally or subconsciously or whatever. And they become a myth for us. And so right now we're going to just bust some of these myths because today I want all of you to kind of break that switch and live this. And if you hear these phrases again, challenge it and tell these people you're absolutely wrong and I'm going to bust your myth. And one of the myths that people have is, whatever, you need to know, you have a whole your whole future now. No, you don't need to have a whole future now. So busted. No, no, no. You need to have a plan. Not necessarily a goal, yes, because one of you mentioned a goal, yes, right? A passion, yes, and we all have it. It's not that you need to look for it. You just need to allow it to flourish. But we all have it, and you know which one that is. And so the next myth is influential leaders are born. Completely busted. Influential leaders are not born. Leadership is a set of skills, and you work them, you work through them, you build them. The next one is that my environment determines who I am. Ah, you were born in this neighborhood, that's where you're. Mm-mm-mm. Change them. Oh, you were born with these circumstances, then change your circumstances. Busted. And the last one is things will never change. And I hate when I hear this from people because people say, oh, things will never change. I will never change. That is a complete myth. Actually, your cells, the cells in your body, are already different from yesterday. So change is inevitable. And change is what's going to take us to the next step. Angie, what are the 6 choices that we have if we want to change our lives?
The 6 choices in order to change your life, and we call them choices because it's a decision that you make. You decide how you want to write your story, and you decide what you're going to do next. And the first thing that you must do is to have clarity. You have to define what it is that you want. Dream big, aim high. If people tell you that's crazy, because the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to start telling the whole world, I want to do this. I'm going to tell you something right now. Dreaming big is the most important thing that you have to do. And don't allow anyone to tell you that you can't, because you know what? You can. You absolutely can. Having clarity on where it is that you want to go is going to set you up for success. The next thing that you must do is you have to trace a plan. I remember that last week, Coach Pygot told us that some of you want to go. What were some of the universities that you had mentioned?
We
One
have
was
one. Her
Howard.
goal is to go to Atlanta to Georgia State University. We have one wants to go to Mississippi State University.
Okay.
We have Ole Miss. We have a couple of athletes in here that want to play college sports. So we have a lot of plans, and it's a matter of just executing that plan as they get ready to get out of high school.
Absolutely, Coach Pyga. And the most important thing they have to do is put down the date that you want to achieve that specific goal. Whether it is, getting into Atlanta State, into Mississippi State, being, the top quarterback of a college university, put the date down. Then what you're going to do is you're going to plan backwards because you're going to create a SMART goal. Coach, do they know what a SMART goal is? Do they even know what the word SMART means, the acronym? Have you taught them that
No,
yet?
and all of them are very smart, but I've never heard that either. I want to learn this.
Okay, so SMART, the S stands for specific. When we write down a goal, we have to be extremely specific of what that goal is. And your goal may be get into the Howard University. Let's say it's Howard University. Get into Howard University, and I'm going to receive my acceptance into the university May 23rd, 2027. I don't know when it is for all of you in the class, but write it down. The M is measurable. Can you measure this goal? Of course you can, because what's going to happen is, are you going to receive an acceptance or a rejection letter? The A in SMART stands for what, Minue, so that they know?
It's attainable, it's possible, it's feasible. A for attainable.
Absolutely. Can you attain this goal? Of course you can, because you're going to know whether or not you were accepted into this university. What's the army noise so that they know this?
Results oriented. You need to have an exact thing that you want, and it needs to be possible, and it needs to be very specific. Yeah.
So your R is whether you receive an acceptance or a rejection. And your T is timely bound. Remember, I started at the beginning telling you put a date down. If there is no date, it's not a goal, it's just a dream and it stays in your head. The next thing that you must do is create an inventory. What do you have and what do you need? You have to write this down. What do you have right now that's going to help you get into this university? Become the next, the quarterback, star quarterback at whatever university you're going to go to. Write it down. And if there is something missing, there's a gap, you're going to find the resource that's going to help you attain it. The next point is honor. You have to be honorable in all that you do. Do what you said you're going to do. If you said you're going to practice, right, and you're going to join the football team, make sure you show up because showing up says that you are committed to your goal. If you're going to study from Monday to Friday, you're going to dedicate 2 hours to something specific so that you can put on that application, so you can get into your dream university. You better make sure that you do it. Do whatever it takes, do it and do it well and do it honorably. Don't cut corners. Corners don't get you anywhere, and people know. The next thing is being grateful. Some of us wake up and we are waking up totally negative and saying everything is working against us. Life is just bad. Things are never going to change. Actually, things can change. It's up to you. It's your decision. Focus on what exists now and what not on what's missing. If you focus on the things that you do have, you will be surprised how gratitude opens up doors. And let me tell you, every single person that you've heard speak through this particular class is a resource, and we're always open to receiving messages from you on however we can help you. We are more than grateful to help support you in your journey. Please know that. And the last choice that you have has to do with adjusting. Adapt, adjust. The only way that you thrive is by learning and being uncomfortable until you are comfortable. Learn to be uncomfortable. The things that make you uncomfortable are the things that are going to drive you towards success. These are our conclusions for you. See, it's not about luck. It's
There
you
you
and
go.
your choices and your
There you go.
decisions. Because, Minue, what is luck? I love this. What is luck, Minue?
It's the points of convergence between preparation and opportunity. So something comes and I'm ready. That's the point.
Absolutely. Something comes and I'm ready. We create our own luck because we're making decisions every day. The next thing you have to remember is you have to take accountability. Owning your story means making decisions and then finding people to hold me accountable so that I'm making my dreams come true. And these are the choices that you have to make, the decisions that are going to change your life. Be clear on what it is that you want. Trace a plan backwards. Make an inventory of what you have. Be honorable in your decisions and with your word. Lead with gratitude and learn to adapt and adjust. That's the only way that you're going to thrive. What questions do you have? And before we take the questions, I want to make sure that you all captured what we said. I'm going to hold the questions really quickly, coach, because I want to make sure they understand this. All it takes is one step to completely change your life. One step, one decision away. Okay. So I want to know, what questions do you all have for me,
Well,
Noel?
they've handed me some great ones, and I just cannot tell you how amazing that presentation was. I knew it'd be great, but that was just unlike anything I've ever seen. And I that's the first time, and I've had over 750 guests that I've been writing stuff down. So that is that should show you. But something I always tell them, and that is so cliche. I always say, look, if you can't get something out of that, I don't know what else I can do for you. So at the end of the day, you talked about choices. You have to choose to receive things. I have lost count of the amount of students that have come back later and said, "Man, I really wish I would have listened." Now, am I mad at them? No. And 99% of the time, they're good kids. But we get so focused on the wrong thing that it affects our choices. When we focus on positive things, we focus on things that can uplift our life. It is amazing how much more successful it makes you. But
Uh,
I do have some time for a few questions, and these are so good. And I love this first one.
okay.
This is Cortez Maxwell. He's in 11th grade. And he asked, "What is the main mission of the Yoshida Academy?"
Oh, I love the question. Meanwhile, do you want to answer that?
Yes, and we have this in two folds. One is our personal mission, Angie and I, is to help one person every single day of our lives. By the end of the year, if you ask me on December 31st, Minue, what have you done this year? I guarantee you that I helped 365 people at least. If I can help
Wow.
more, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. And I go to sleep knowing that I was useful and I was helpful and that I helped someone else be a better person. And in Yoshida Academy, we help people. We remind people of their own power and we help them realize that they have a full potential and we remind them to be brave, remind them of bravery. Thanks for the question.
Awesome. I love this one. This is Demontre Strange. He's in 11th grade. Our starting quarterback here at Velma Jackson also plays basketball and baseball. He's got a good curveball as well, a great pitcher. But he asked, why did you ladies choose this path to go into?
Oof. So I'll jump on this one. For me, I didn't choose the path. The path chose me.
Wow.
Going civil engineering to financial services to what I do today, which is learning and development, training, public speaking. I speak internationally and nationally on very big platforms. And I'm going to tell you something, since I was young, leadership was always following me, and I was always being asked to speak in front of people. And for some reason, I was placed in situations where no one wanted to step up, and I was always saying yes. But I ran from it for the longest time because I thought my path was supposed to be engineering. But even when I was a civil engineer out in the field, right? I was doing project management. Always ended up huddled in a group with the construction workers, giving them advice, talking to them about their life, coaching them. And they always would say, "Angie, you need to go and do this for a living." And I said, "No, I'm supposed to be doing engineering because I want to make sure my parents are proud of me." But the thing is that it was my calling. My calling was following me. And even though I was running away, my calling came back to me. And I had no other choice but to step into it and say, "Yes, I'm going to become an agent of change and use my voice to change the lives of others."
That's awesome. I got time for two more. This is Jasmine McBride. She's in 10th grade. She's the one I mentioned wants to go to Georgia State University in Atlanta.
Okay.
Really started making preparations last year to start making this happen. Wants to get into the mental health field. And she asked, "What has motivated y'all to be the people that you are today?"
Meanwhile,
Well, first of all, mental health. Thank you. Yes, we are in urgent need in this country of two things, education and mental health. So thank you in the name of everyone else that needs you. What got us to this place? The same thing that Andy was talking about, and we call it the calling. And the calling in, so we follow a philosophy that is called Ikigai. And Ikigai is in Japanese the philosophy to find a purpose in life, to wake up in the morning and say, this is my contribution to this world. This is my legacy. This is what I want to do every single day. And never define it by a job or a description or a title. It's more defined by what do you want to do to feel better, to be happy. And I, when I was a child, I was super shy and timid and introvert. I'm still introvert because introvert and extrovert is just the way that you process things. So I still process things inside. But to Angie's, to it's like a similar thing to Angie. People were saying like, Minue, you can share this with us. Minue, just tell us this. And someone else told us, how did you manage to grab a microphone, speak in front of 2,000 people, and not sweat it? And I said like, wait a minute. First of all, I'm sweating it. Of course, I'm nervous. That doesn't go away. But I did this, I did that, I did that, and they said, well, why don't you teach that to the rest of the people? And to me, that was kind of a nice calling to say, whatever it is that you conquered whatever it is that comes to you, and maybe for other people it's rocket science, but you figure it out. That's a gift, and gifts are not for you. Gifts are for others. And so if
Wow.
you already discover what's amazing in you, other people need you. And when you accept that, then you accept the calling, and that's exactly what Angie and I did.
I love
Wow.
your
Uh,
response, Minue. For
yeah.
me personally, I wasn't born in this country. I'm a Black Latina. I was born in the Dominican Republic. I'm the youngest of six. I'm a twin, believe it or not. And there's a part of me that felt unseen when I came to this country. And representation matters. And for me, it's deeply rooted in making sure that I am in places and spaces where not only am I taking up space, but I am making a way for others who look like me to see themselves in the same position. I'm going to tell you one thing that to me is like the proudest. I've done a lot of things in my life. I've received a lot of recognition. But the one thing that I say that I am most proud of, I sit on the board of my university. And I was the co-chair of the Hispanic and Latinx Leadership Council. And I
Wow.
was able to not only help my university among with the other members of our board to become a Hispanic serving institution, which now says we see you Latinos within this university, but to be a woman of color, just a woman of color on a board where most boards don't have people who look like us, be an advocate for students because I knew exactly what their plight was because I had gone through it. And for me, it's about impact. I don't do what I do for me. I do it because I want to make sure that I am the vivid representation of students just like you sitting in those same seats who don't think that you can get to those places. I want you to know that you can. And the next time somebody tells you that you are not good enough, that you are not smart enough, that you don't deserve to be there, you tell them and look them in the eye. I know my place, and my place is all the way at the top.
Awesome. Well, I got one more, and this is Azira. She's in 11th grade, member of our band here. Wants to go to Mississippi State University, wants to also get into the mental health field. And she asked, what has been the biggest challenge that you have faced as minority women business owners?
With living concerns like one every single day. I'll mention, two or three, maybe Angie, you can mention as well. But um, as minority and as well as Angie, I was not born here. I was born in Mexico City. And so language was a barrier. Accent was another one. So one of the challenges is people trying to minimize who you are, and by subtle ways and sometimes direct ways, because there's rude people telling you that you are less than, that you're not enough, that you're not worthy, that you shouldn't charge accordingly, that you're not intelligent enough, that you're not. And so that comes across again if it's incorporated, it's like very subtle. um but that's one of the challenges of people saying like you can't do something, and now we prove them, and so I just turn around and say, watch me. Angie, what would have been your challenge?
I think, you mentioned a lot of them, but I want to add one more, which is important to the students there. And it's showing up authentically as myself. I did not wear my hair curly natural for a very long time because I
Wow.
was told that it wasn't professional enough. And so I ascribed to the belief that being Eurocentric and using my hair straight every day was professional. And then one day I met Minue, and Minue told me she saw me with my hair curly, and she said, "Oh my goodness, that is you. Why aren't you wearing your hair natural every single day?" And I told her about this thing, and she said, "Angie, that is the worst limiting belief that you could have because there are women right now waiting for you to show up exactly as yourself that are hungry to see somebody like you, confident, saying, you should be showing up like yourself every day. And no one should tell you what professionalism is because you get to define that." So that was my big
Absolutely.
challenge.
And we got a couple rocking the natural here today, and I'm a big fan. There's a huge difference between professional and distracting. And you wearing your hair natural is not distracting. It is extremely professional. And that's crazy that somebody told you that. Well, we're almost out of time, and we thank you guys so much. This has been unbelievable for me and these kids. But a couple things before we go. Tell us where we can find Yoshida Academy online to get some followers. And I always tell them
Thank you
find
so
things that'll put
much.
find things that'll put positivity into your life. You guys are putting out great content. Would love to help you guys engagement. So tell us where we can find Yoshida Academy online.
Sure, on social media, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, we are literally Yoshida Academy. We're the only ones, so you can follow us there. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm Queen Angie Ogando, and Minue is Minue Yoshida. She has a very unique name.
Yeah,
And
and we'll definitely get all that information out to them.
yeah, I have a last suggestion for them is open an account in LinkedIn because it's a professional platform, and send Angie and I an invitation, please, so we can click on accept. Just put I'm a student of the class or something like that for us to remember who you are. But start creating a professional profile. It doesn't need to be perfect. Oh, before you leave, we are we're recovering from perfectionism, Anonymous, and so our lemma is it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to exist. So don't wait until your resume is perfect, your profile is perfect, your photo is perfect. No, nobody's looking for that. Just be authentic, and whatever you have, nothing is small. Just put it out there, but create a profile and send us an invitation.
Yeah, and some of them have already gotten great resumes. But one before we wrap up, I skipped one thing I want to say. For all of our English language learners in our district, there is a place for you if English is not your first language. We need, and then every field, I don't care what it is, needs bilingual professionals, especially here in Mississippi. So I don't want any of we have a lot of first generation Americans in our district. I don't want any of them to be discouraged. There is a place for them right here in our area. But
On the contrary.
the last thing before we go is, both of you mentioned, coming to this country and finding your voice. And I love what Angie said about making your place at the table. If there's not a table for you, you can make your own table. And I know we've talked about this and they've heard me say this, and I'll say it again. Nobody chooses where they were born. Nobody chooses the color of their skin. Nobody chooses their talents. Nobody chooses their parents. But there are so many things in life you can't control. And at the end of the day, and this applies to me as well, things don't change for you until you change it. Being able to take initiative and walk into a room and own it, walk into a room and introduce yourself, being able to speak to a customer, being able to speak to a client, being able to speak in a job interview is going to be what sets them apart. It's already hard enough for so many groups, for so many, for women and for so many groups in this country. But there's never been a better time to make something of your life than right now. So as we get ready to wrap up, and as they start making transitions through high school, start making decisions for their future, whether it's college or straight to the workforce, community college, whatever, how can they know that these obstacles are going to come, but being confident and being learning to communicate can push them through so much?
It's all about bravery. And I love Minue's definition of bravery. Minue, remind them of bravery, please. What is
Well, first
bravery?
of all, to remember that there's no such thing as fearless. Because if you're fearless, you're reckless, you're careless. Fear is necessary to push you, to give you that adrenaline that you need. But it is about recognizing the fear, naming it, knowing where it's coming from, and then dismantling it so that you choose and decide to live your life every day despite the fact that you're afraid. Bravery is to do things despite the fact that you're afraid. And I equate this to if you're going to an interview and you feel nervous, you say, I'm not nervous, I'm excited. I'm going to switch that.
There
And
you go.
I'm going to say, I can do this. This we learn in neuro-linguistic programming. Words matter. And the words that most matter is the one that you tell yourself. So when you're going to start something, an interview, a job, a conversation, a pitch, a presentation in front of your class, which you're going to do right now, the first thing that you're going to say is, I can do this. And if you feel a little bit afraid, all you do is like, come on, fear, we have to present together. And you just do it. Fear is something that
There
you
you
go
go.
through. You can't go around. You should not go on above and beyond. You have to go through it. And then you become a brave
Wow.
person.
So go
Wow.
out there and be brave. You all are amazing and incredible, and we honor you today. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to be able to connect with your students. You are amazing, Coach Paiga, and we can't wait to connect with all of you and hear about the great things that you're doing. Congratulations.
Well, it's never been about me. I appreciate that. It's about giving people like you the platform. And I will hopefully see you guys in New York in April. So, again,
Yes.
we thank you
Yes.
guys so much for joining us. April Ogando and
Of course.
Minue Yoshida, all the way from New York City, co founders of the Yoshida Academy. We thank you so much for taking some time for us today.
Thank you so
Thank
much, and we
you.
hope that your students also, come to New York. Please let them know that as good Latinas, we always say "Mi casa es tu casa," which means that they can just come over here and they're always welcome, so we can do something together.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Talk to you
Bye.
guys soon.
Take
Thank you
care.
so much.
Thank you. Blessings to all.